Welcome, Aibon. So in this lesson, again, we're going to have a look at speaking part 2 and 3. So in speaking part 2 and 3, what you need to remember, I've been telling this over and over and over again, right? So if you're watching each video, you'll be like, oh, why is she telling me this over and over again? Because some people might not watch all the videos. Sometimes you might pick up only on this video. You just go click, I'm going to watch this video only, right? So that's why I think it's essential to tell you at the start of each video. Part 2 and part 3, they're linked, right? And whatever topic that you get for part 2, similar or related questions will come for part 3. Okay, so example, if you get for your cue card, talk about a trip that you went as a child, then part 3 questions will be about traveling, going out, travel friends, travel buddies, travel partners, everything around travel. Now, what you need to remember is that the examiner controls the time of the exam, and here you get 1 minute to prepare, so you can make some notes. And then you need to speak 1 to 2 minutes. So is it okay if you speak for 1 minute? It is okay, but you wouldn't get a higher score. It's better for you to speak close upon 2 minutes, right? So try to speak with the given topic or around the given topic for about 2 minutes. Now, you might say, oh, she told us to speak for 2 minutes, so I went on and on and on. No, that's not what I mean. When I say close upon 2 minutes, you must have a good solid answer. You should have vocabulary, you must have sentence structures, your task must be achieved, you must have a logical structure when you're talking, and when we listen to it, we should feel, oh, the student is going good, oh, okay, good. You know, that kind of expression is what you should be getting, all right? Okay, so when we have a look at this topic, describe a foreign person you like. Okay, now let's have a look at the cue card. Describe a foreign person you like. You should say who this person is, how do you know this person, and what kind of person he or she is. Why do you think this person is interesting? Now, when you say describe a foreign person you like, okay, definitely needs to be present tense, okay? Let me just change the color. We can say present tense. I'm not going to say simple present, okay, but it could be present tense, okay? Now, when you talk about a foreign person, you could either like an actor or an actress, singer, male or female, right? Who else? Maybe your boss, if you have a foreign boss, okay? Your supervisor, I've worked with a few senior managers, right? So you could talk about different people, right? Now, if you were to talk about an actor, now lots of Sri Lankan people like Shah Rukh Khan, they like Tamil actors, right? They like these Korean pop stars. I haven't watched a lot of Korean movies and, you know, these series, but I know because my students, they love these Korean pop stars, right? And also, famous actors, I like Jason Statham, right? But, you know, he's also foreign. You could have a look at who you want to talk about. But they should be foreign, okay? Foreign means anyone who is not Sri Lankan. Then we have the actress, okay, the female version, right? So it could be Juhi Chawla if they're Indian, or Priyanka Chopra, or I don't know, whoever you like, okay? Singer again, I like Celine Dion, right? You could write down whoever you like. Supervisor or boss, well, I've had a few of them, right? I've had B, okay, she used to be my former boss in the UK. Then I've had David, who I've worked with before, and they're both really, really great people, okay? So it's nice for you to talk about someone. Now, when you want to talk about this person, you should be able to use adjectives to describe the person. Well, they're asking you, how do you know the person? What kind of person he or she is, right? So you need to be able to talk about the characteristics of not just, oh, they're really nice people. No, he's a good person. No, you should be able to use adjectives, right? What kind of adjectives would you use to talk about people? What kind of words? Let's just say words. What kind of words would you talk about? Hardworking. Okay, you could use the word hardworking. Intelligent. So, hardworking, intelligent. Sometimes you could use brave, if you like to talk about that they're really brave. Maybe chatty, when some people are really, really talkative. Clever. Easygoing. That means they're not very hard and harsh people. Easygoing. What else can you say? Generous. Wise. That is intelligent again. Wise. Could use so many other words. Okay. Now we're using only the positive ones because you're talking about a person, right? And what kind of person he or she is. Why do you think this person is interesting? So if you want to tell the person is interesting, you wouldn't want to use words like nosy, moody. I mean, those are words that you would not want to use, right? Because they're not talking about any positive features, okay? So let's have a look at it. Now, who this person is, okay? If I was you, I would jot down some points during my preparation time. So I would say boss. I'd like to talk about David. I hope he doesn't mind if he's watching this video, right? How do you know this person? Oh, he was my boss, okay? So he was the head of the project. What kind of person he or she is? Easygoing, chatty, definitely. And he was very knowledgeable, I would say. And he was a friendly person. I really liked working with him. He was very friendly, very understanding. Okay. Why do you think this person is interesting? Right, so I've just put down a few points there, right? Now, if I was to give an answer, I would definitely make some notes within the 1 minute, okay? And then, because it tells you, you will have to talk about the topic for 1 to 2 minutes. You have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say. You can make some notes to help you if you wish. I would definitely put down some notes, right? Now, the person that I would like to talk about, and he or she is this foreign person that I know, and he is my boss that I worked with about 4 years ago. Probably not 4, about 5 years ago, right? So his name is David Ablett, right? And he was my boss, and he worked for this project. And I was also working as a marketing and comms manager, and he was our team leader. Now, I got to know David when I was actually selected, but I saw him first time during the interview process. He was there in the interview panel. He seemed like a nice person, but I actually got to know him well when we started working together, right? What kind of person he or she is? Well, David is like a really friendly and easygoing person. I still remember when I first met him and we were seated for lunch, he was telling me about this, his experience, his work experience. He had worked in South Africa, he had worked in so many other countries, and he was so knowledgeable. You named it, he would know details about it. He's also working in the ADB before, right? And he was so knowledgeable. That's what I liked most about him, because if you asked something from him, he was always there to help you. So it was like a trait that I really liked in him. Apart from that, he was a really friendly person. You could get along well with him even though he was your team leader. And it was very chatty, and everyone in the team enjoyed it. Because, we sometimes work, but you do want a break. And David was definitely one of those team leaders who was really chatty, and it was always good to have him around. He was so bubbly. Now, I think this person was very interesting because of the experience that he shared with us. He was very knowledgeable when it came to subject matter, even if it was communication, even if it was marketing, building up business models, making sure that, everyone was monitored well, coming up with strategies, everything. He was so good at it, and he had a real overall understanding of how to run projects. Apart from that, what I felt was that he was very friendly, and the employees in that specific project felt really free to work with him because he was so open and you could approach him anytime. Employees found it so good to be around him. They would talk to him, they would call him, we would have get-togethers and we would celebrate his kid's birthday. I think now he has 2 though, right? So I remember the little one when I was working there. And he was such an amazing soul that everyone, I think, everyone is still working there. We've got so many employees on that project and they're still working with him, right? And even to date, sometimes I meet him, sometimes I give him a call if I need any help on, certain other aspects, and he's always a call away. So I find those aspects, attributes really interesting about him, and he's like a person that I personally admire too, right? So there you go. You could come up with your own person, right? But I am going to show you some examples also, right? Why do I show you examples? Because it's good to go through a few and see this is good, this is not so good, this is okay, and you can evaluate it looking at the marking criteria. And there's a little introduction in the model answer 1. Living in this globalized world, it is not uncommon for people to keep knowledge of famous people from other countries. Here, I would like to talk about a very interesting person who is actually the richest man on this planet, Elon Musk, okay? It would be nice to have the M in caps lock, right? Elon Musk, okay? So who is this Elon Musk? He's the CEO of Tesla. What is Tesla? I'm not into so much of all of these things, but I know that Tesla is like a company and they have these really amazing cars. I'm sure they're into manufacturing cars. There might be other lots of companies around him because he's one of the richest men in the world, right? So, and these cars are really super cool, right? So, how do you know him or her? He is the person who always remains in the limelight. Aha. Nice word. Limelight means he's always very famous as the media tries to bring everything in public related to him. At the same time, he remains extremely active on social media, especially Twitter. Now, I'm not sure how many of you have Twitter accounts, right? But Twitter is a nice social media platform where lots of professionals use it. I know all of you here probably watching this, or at least the majority of you, will be having Facebook and Insta, which is Instagram, okay? I'm not so an Insta person, but I know all of you have Insta. And then there's another platform, TikTok. Me, again, not a great fan of TikTok, but lots of my students, because I used to teach them a creative unit, and they tell me, Miss, why won't you use TikTok videos to do videos, right? I'm not a fan of it, but I'm sure it's really good. But Twitter, I know because I use Twitter, it's kind of like a professional platform, right? Several things make this person quite interesting. Firstly, nice signposting word. His curiosity towards space travel. He owns a company named SpaceX. I told you he would probably have more companies. With a mission to make it possible to travel in the space in the near future. Wow, that's amazing. His imagination has no boundaries, and that's why he often comes up with ideas that others find unrealistic. Probably yes. I've seen one of these really high-end Tesla cars. So one is parked outside my house. I thought, oh, the car is started on its own. And I told my friend, actually not a friend, a student. I said, oh no, your car is just started up. And he's like, oh, miss, it just automatically turns on. When it's heated outside, it turns on and it ons the AC and it cools the car. So when the passenger actually sits in the car, it's nice and cool. And this car, trust me, is amazing inside. I've seen it. It's just amazing. Okay? So, and now, what kind of person he or she is, and explain why you think he or she is interesting. Now, he is often invited as a guest lecturer, and I always listen to his speeches available on YouTube. That's why he knows him and that's why he likes him, right? Which are extremely interesting and influential. Nice words. Interesting, influential. He also believes that technology is going to change the world completely in the future, and that's why he owns Tesla, the only company that manufactures robotic cars. I love this car. It's amazing, okay? Let me just show you a quick picture of it, okay? So that you guys can see a picture of it, okay? So we've got Tesla cars. Let me just show you. It's nice, okay? So you can see all of these cars, right? And they look amazing, right? And they open up like this. Okay, I love them. You could actually have a look at it during your free time, all right? Coming back to our lesson. Although the car is not yet available in my country, okay, it is available in my country. I'm eager to feel the experience of sitting in a driverless car. Amazing. In addition, this person is interesting because he has a very comical nature, okay? Comical means a humorous. I would rather say he's got a lot of humor. And even his jokes are worth billions of dollars. Billions of dollars. So you can see why this student thinks what kind of person he is and why he or she finds this person really interesting, right? For example, some time ago, you don't say sometimes ago, nice phrase, some time ago, he started his cryptocurrency, DOG coin, as a joke, and today this coin is worth billions, right? Elon Musk has 7 children, which is also quite interesting because he wants to change society's perception while reading an article on him. Wow, okay. 7 kids, multimillionaire, got different ideas, amazing personality, I would say, okay? Right. So conclusion, I got to know that he is very much influenced by Indian culture and wants to visit India, and it is my wish I personally meet him, meet this amazing personality one day. Oh, I wish so too, right? I wish I could meet him one day because he's got such a lot of different ideas and they're just out of this world, right? All right. So there you have one answer. I gave you my answer. Now let's have a look at another answer. Let's have a look at how the student starts the answer. I try to keep myself updated with global news and events and also about foreign personalities. Who the person is? Today I would like to talk about the Prime Minister of Canada, Justin Trudeau, right? I've read about him. So how do you know him? I've read about him online and also got to know about his work through the news. I forgot to tell you, we could add, foreign person, you could talk about famous other people, right? Like politicians, royal family, Princess Diana, okay, people like that. Politicians like Jacinda Ardern from New Zealand, or this student is talking about the Prime Minister of Canada, okay. It's good to actually watch these personalities. I'm not sure if you watch this. I always stop and show you videos because I want you to enhance your knowledge, okay. It's not just learning English for this whole exam. It's beyond that. It's a living language, right? There's this really nice video. When I saw this word Prime Minister in Canada, okay, I remember Jacinda Ardern from New Zealand putting up a video saying 2 minutes, and she had this whole 2 minutes talking about what she had done for New Zealand, not just herself, but as a government, what they had done for New Zealand, okay? I'm just going to show that to you as well. Again, this is good, listen, okay? It's not bad stopping and looking at those videos. It's to improve your listening skills as well, okay? Right, so I'm just going to quickly show you a video of Jacinda Ardern, right? Prime Minister of New Zealand. Watch this, it's amazing, right? All credits to the original publisher.
I can run through the last 2 years in 2 minutes. So here's some key headline achievements.
Oops, I've just stopped it, right? But this is that she's talking about how what achievements they've got as a government after 2 years in 2 minutes, right? So I'm not going to interrupt you in the middle. I'd like you to watch it because it's just amazing, right?
Good everyone. So this week is the 2-year anniversary of the creation of this government, and the team has decided to set me a challenge to see whether or not I can run through the last 2 years in 2 minutes. So here's some key headline achievements, not everything, but I'm going to see whether or not I can at least get some of it in. So, start the clock. We've created 92,000 jobs. We've built more than 2,200 state houses. We've banned offshore speculators. We've planted 140 million trees. We've got better cancer care through radiation machines, pharmac funding, and created a central cancer agency. We've delivered cheaper doctors' visits for over 500,000 people. We're taking mental health seriously with mental health advisors and GPs and doctors' clinics across the country. We've increased minimum wage to $17.70. We've hired 2,000 more doctors and nurses. We're building more classrooms in schools for 100,000 students. We've brought unemployment to the lowest rate in 11 years. We've got the highest increase in wages in a decade. We've helped 1 million Kiwis pay their bills with the winter energy payment. We've boosted incomes for 384,000 families through the Families Package. We've increased school funding so parents don't have to pay school donations and NCEA fees. We're breaking the cycle of family and sexual violence with massive boosts in funding. We've deployed 1,607 new police officers. We've made state highways safer. We've banned single-use plastic bags. We've started the clean-up job on our rivers and lakes through planting trees and fencing waterways. We've supported young people into training and apprenticeships. We've introduced a free lunches in schools program. We've provided more funding for addiction treatment beds and services. We're paying teachers, nurses and police officers more. We've resumed contributions to the super fund. We've set standards for rental homes. We've extended paid parental leave. We've ramped up the research, development and tax incentives. We're helping homeless individuals.
You can see how much they do in New Zealand, right?
Housing first. We've banned military-style semi-automatic and assault rifles. We've introduced a zero carbon bill. We've started fixing rundown hospitals. We've invested in public transport, extended nurses in schools to cover decile 4 and 5 secondary schools for almost 30,000 extra students. We've passed the Child Poverty Reduction Act and have lifted between 50 and 70,000 children out of poverty. We've provided the first funding increase in 10 years to early childhood education. We've banned smoking in cars with children. We began the Royal Commission of Inquiry into historical abuse in state care and in care of faith-based institutions. We've set up a suicide prevention office and developed a suicide
Amazing.
prevention
Okay, just past 2 minutes.
We've created Mana and Aki, putting mental health support at every primary and intermediate school in Christchurch and Kaikoura. We gave families an extra $3,000 a year for the first year of a child's life. We boosted funding for air ambulances. We lifted the cap on gender reassignment surgeries. We banned microbeads. We boosted funding for KiwiRail. We reduced the prison population for the first time in a decade. We established Te Arawhiti, the Office for Māori Crime Relations, to make the Crown a better treaty partner. We increased New Zealand's refugee quota. We're leading on the Christchurch call to eliminate terrorist and violent extremist content online. And we're making sure New Zealand history is taught in all schools and kura.
Amazing.
2 minutes 56. But a great list.
Okay. So, amazing personalities, right? Good for you to see something outside the box as well, right? It's not just teaching English, but I'd like you also to explore and see, because you're doing this exam obviously because you want to migrate, okay? And you'll be looking at different options, and it's nice to see some of the prime ministers actually, you know, talking about what they've done in 2 years, which is amazing, okay? So this student is going to talk about the Prime Minister in Canada, right? And I've read about him online and also get to know about his work through the news. I think, yes, we also see that. I've also seen a few videos of him going to the tube station and, you know, talking to people, getting to know what they do, what they want, what kind of person he or she is, right? I think he is charismatic. That means, you know, he's got a good personality and he can change people through his charisma. A very good leader and an excellent speaker. He was born in Ottawa, Canada on December. So we don't say he was born on December, he was born in December. Okay, or you can say he was born on the 25th of December. So think about these kind of words. In 1971, right, Christmas night, he was the eldest of the 3 children of Margaret, Sinclair and Pierre. His father was the 15th Prime Minister of Canada from 1968 to 1979. So coming from such a background. Justin earned a bachelor's degree in literature and then earned a Bachelor of Education for his degree. He gained varied experience before he joined the Liberal Party in 2008. So I think the student has a good understanding, or rather, you know, personal liking towards a person, has read a lot and giving lots of information about the person's background. But you should be able to explain more about the characteristic as well, right? He taught French, humanities and math at a secondary school. He also worked at a radio station and then was a part of the Great War television miniseries. Meanwhile, he also served as the chairman of a national youth volunteer organization. He won the 2015 and 2019 federal elections and is now serving his second term as the Prime Minister. Right? Now, why you think he or she is interesting? So this is he because he's male. I became interested in learning more about him when he visited India in 2018. During the trip, he and his family wore Indian attire while visiting different parts of India. When they visited the Golden Temple, they also served in the community kitchen, right? I was really impressed by their efforts to learn more about our country and our culture. Nice. Why you think he's interesting, okay? So I see this, lots of people like to share their experiences, like to gain different experiences with the cultures, right? So when they go into a different culture, they try to dress, talk and eat in that culture, right? Some of his notable achievements include the assault weapons ban, advocacy of gender equality, and the creation of a national childcare plan. So lots of things involved. This student has read well about the Prime Minister of Canada, right? He has always been in favor of environmental related policies and has committed to reduce Canada's gas emissions by 30% by 2030. He has also banned the use of single-use plastics. I think you heard this when New Zealand also has banned it, and has also passed legislations for marine conservation to protect the sea. Using the COVID-19 pandemic, his government's response has been proactive and has been appreciated by other countries. I think yes, because lots of people are looking to migrate to Canada, New Zealand, Australia, and all the developed countries, but they're doing extremely well because of their strategies, right? So lastly, in conclusion, I feel he's a good leader and the world needs more such young leaders. They're not that old, right? Even Jacinda is not that old. He is an inspiration and an example for young leaders worldwide. I think so too. When I read these personalities, I feel, oh wow, they've done so much, okay? Right, so we're coming to the latter part where we have a look at part 3 questions. Now in this part, it's linked to part 2. They would ask you more questions related to the topic. Describe a foreign person you have heard or known that you think is interesting, okay? So this was, I had made it a bit short for you at the start, where it only spoke about describe a foreign person, but it's just an extension of the same question, okay? Right. So, do you have any foreign friends, and do you think having foreign friends is a good way to know other countries? I definitely have lots of foreign friends coming in from different countries, UK, Estonia, Norway, Sweden, Holland, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, right? Lots of friends from all over the world, and I think knowing them is actually good, right? One thing is, when I studied in uni, I was able to understand different cultures, even the African cultures, right? I had friends coming in from different parts of Africa. So I was able to understand how these different cultures work, right? I had Arabic friends. I was able to understand how they were. French, African, New Zealand, Canadian, right? So lots of different cultures, different types of food, different types of ceremonies and, festivals that they celebrate. I think, yes, it's a nice way to learn about different cultures and practices, and I still keep in touch with them, so it's nice. Oh, I forgot, I'm one from Mauritius as well, all right? So this student, no, I don't have any friends yet, and yes, I believe that it is a good way to know and learn more about other countries, okay? So, different to what I gave you. Do you think it's important to know the culture and the language before going to another country? I would say it's good to study about the culture and the language before you set up, okay? Because that helps you in surviving in that country. Now, for example, if you go to France, most of them speak French. So if you know French, it's easier for you to get about, understand, and communicate. And when you know the culture, it's much easier. If you don't, it might be hard for you to actually, set up if you are going there as a migrant, or you might not really enjoy because you don't understand their culture and the words, right? So student thinks yes, definitely. It is important to learn about the culture and language of another country before visiting it. It doesn't have to be in depth, but it would be good at least on the surface so that you can manage well with the various translation apps and other information available online, and you could basically survive, right? Coming to our last two questions. What do you think of people who work in international companies? Well, I think they're extremely lucky, right? They have an amazing exposure and they can learn about different countries, about different nationalities, about different cultures, and it is amazing, okay? It's a really good experience in my perspective. I think it gives people good exposure when they work in international companies. They get to learn about the culture by interacting with different people from different countries, right? The work environment and the work culture is also usually very different, and as a result, it can open doors for better work opportunities, work practices around the world. Next question. What abilities do people need to have when working in an international company? Well, I think the main thing is good communication skills, okay, and being able to adapt and respect other cultures. You've also got to have good interpersonal skills, right? Where you could work in teams, you could work alone, but meanwhile doing whatever, you respect the other person. Good communication skills, interpersonal skills, knowledge of the culture and language, being open to learning, and a cooperative attitude are some of the abilities that people need to have when working in an international company. Some good words, right? You could think about interpersonal, knowledge of the culture and language, open to learning, and a cooperative attitude. I think those are really good words to use. All right, so I think you've had a good understanding again, right? A bit of, extra things as well about the cultures and about the New Zealand Prime Minister, about the Canadian Prime Minister, right? And here today, we've had a look at the topic, describe a foreign person you like.